Hey guys, CJ here, and I've got a really interesting topic vid for you. Specifically today, I'm going to be discussing and explaining the future of Captain America in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now this doesn't just mean the future of Steve Rogers, though we'll talk about it because, he's important to the character. This is more about the mantle of Captain America. Now, a little background for you. This is something that we've seen change a couple times in the comics already. When Captain America died at the end of Civil War, Bucky took up the mantle. Though it was revealed that Cap wasn't really dead, Bucky still carried the shield for several years. Just recently, Captain America's super soldier serum was neutralized, causing him to age rapidly. He stepped back and took more of a coordinating role, while Sam Wilson, formerly the Falcon, became the Star-Spangled Man with a plan. To put this in perspective, when Sam became Cap, a debate was sparked concerning just what would happen when Chris Evans decided to back out of the films. As anybody who's been following the comics and the film universe know, this has been a conversation we've been having for years with Robert Downey Jr. However, the events of the comics seem to give this new debate some sense of urgency. This was only fueled after the release of the Phase 3 film slate, which seemed to call into question the contract status for a lot of Marvel's biggest stars, Evans included. As it is, Chris is only signed on for Age of Ultron, Civil War, and one of the two Infinity War movies. Now, Occam's razor, the simplest and most likely scenario is that everyone just signs on for one more film, and there's no one saying that that's not gonna happen for sure. However, recent reports, specifically out of Latino Review, seem to suggest that this is not the case. Captain America is gonna die at the end of Civil War as he did in the comics. Now, whether this is rumor, hearsay, or actual fact remains to be seen, and we probably won't know until Civil War comes out. So let's run with the possibilities for a few minutes. What if Captain America did perish at the end of Civil War? What would happen next? Ultimately, we have three options: Bucky Cap, Falcon Cap, and the possibility that they retire the character forever, or at least until the inevitable reboot. I'll explore the merits and potential of all three options over the next couple of minutes. First things first, we need to talk about the possibility that the powers that be at Marvel just decide one day to retire the mantle altogether. Like, Kevin Feige just wakes up one morning and says, you know what, we've been setting this up for someone to replace him, but nah, he's just done. Captain America's gone, nobody can replace Chris as Steve. There's several pieces that I see working against this though. It's a popular character, the comics give you a good guide on how to replace him. Though Chris Evans is playing him extremely well, it's not like he's synonymous with the character yet. And what do I mean by that? When you think Tony Stark, you think Robert Downey for the most part. And most importantly, it's not like you don't have replacement options. You have two extremely viable potential candidates. And they're already sewn into the fabric of the MCU, not using them would just be a waste. While there's a chance Marvel goes this route, sure, I just don't see it. I see this as by far and away the least likely of the three options. So that leaves us with our replacements. First, let's talk about Bucky. Bucky first took up the mantle following Steve's death at the end of Civil War in 2007. Though Captain America was revealed to still be alive, Bucky continued to carry the shield for 4 years before going through his own death and rebirth cycle, which at this point seems like an emerging trend for Captain America's, so Sam should be on the lookout for any brainwashed hitmen. There are a few things pointing to the possibility and probability of Bucky taking up the mantle. The first being simply, he was there first. Now, what do I mean by that? Well, the Falcon is kind of Steve's second sidekick, and if we're following a linear progression, but that's oversimplifying it. Really, if Marvel felt like they were able to keep being a powerhouse film company, they could opt to let Sebastian Stan have his turn, have his run playing Captain America, only to replace him with Sam in a few movies. Give Stan a couple movies, and then have Sam come in a couple movies. The second thing playing to Buck's favor is his story arc. Just think about it. He was Captain America's childhood best friend, he dies only to be resurrected as a brainwashed killing machine, and used as a tool by Captain America's greatest enemies. Broken free and on the end of the run of Winter Soldier, taking up the mantle of Cap would be the perfect and logical end to Bucky's redemption arc. The third and perhaps biggest piece of evidence for Bucky taking up the mantle in the MCU is Stan's contract, and this is a whopper. It's been widely reported that your boy has a 9-picture deal, but believe it or not, he's only been in one. Now you're sitting there, you're thinking, CJ, what are you talking about? He's been in 2 movies. Well, Captain America the First Avenger was prior to him signing a large contract with Marvel, this current contract that he has that's 9 pictures. So Winter Soldier is just the first picture on his deal. So that's a whopping 8 more features that Stan has to be in. So let's break it down. It's been confirmed that Stan will be reprising his role in Civil War, so that's 2. If we assume that he appears in both halves of the Infinity War, that's 4. I'll give you an outside chance that he appears in Age of Ultron in a flashback or a Steve-centric moment, so let's call that 5. It's pretty clear Looking at the Phase 3 slate, he doesn't fit in any more of the movies before Infinity War, so this seems to paint a much clearer picture that James Buchanan Barnes will play a much bigger role in the post-Thanos movie universe. But, you know, what that is remains to be seen, of course. So what about the alternative? What evidence points to Sam Wilson becoming Captain America? Well, first, there's the relative recentness of his becoming Cap. As we know, comics tend to emulate and mirror the films. That's just how it works. So, could Sam's transition signal a future change for the film universe? Potentially. Secondly, Sam would actually spice things up for the character. While both Bucky and Cap have relatively similar skill sets, Sam would actually bring a distinct variation to the character both in power and personality. If any of you have read the recent Captain America run, you know that Wilson more or less combines the Falcon with Captain America, so we get to see the Star-Spangled Man with a plan, but we also get to see him flying through the air with the greatest of ease. And personality-wise, Sam would liven up the relatively stoic and dour natures of Cap and Bucky respectively. Falcon's more zesty, he's more vibrant, he brings more fun, and he would bring a fun twist to the team that would play off of the existing feeling of the universe very well. Third and most importantly, diversity. Sam would bring a little melanin to the currently lily-white or green group of Avengers. While in future movies, Rhodey and Sam will be joining the Avengers, beginning in Age of Ultron I believe in the case of Rhodey. Having another black hero take up the role of Marvel's face, their biggest hero, would be an incredibly and positively progressive move for the company. Especially with all of the racial division and strife of the last year, this would be just an inspired move on Marvel's part. We've already seen that Marvel is going to be diversifying its lineup, bringing both Black Panther and Captain Marvel over the next few years, so why not add Sam to that mix? So, it's prediction time. Personally, while I love Mackie and definitely want to see Sam Wilson in more Marvel pictures, I believe the evidence is much more strongly in favor of Sebastian Stan taking up the role of First Avenger. Mackie himself has said he's in no rush to play Cap, but as usual the guy is always there with a comment and genuinely seems to love working with Marvel. You can just see that passion every time he talks to the media. He just loves being part of this universe, so I'm pretty sure he'll be happy wherever he ends up. It'd be great to see him get a shot in the future though. Unfortunately for him, it seems like Stan is set up as the heir apparent. Now, how and when the Captain America change occurs remains to be seen, and the real plan is probably written on a piece of paper in invisible ink, in a book, in a box, in a safe, in a vault, behind 3 gates, in a fallout bunker, 30 miles under Marvel headquarters and surrounded by armed guards. So until then, we'll be waiting. But that doesn't mean you can't guess and give your opinions. Who do you think will throw the mighty shield after Steve Rogers? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Signing off, this is CJ, and I'll see you next time.